Here at Harmon's Tree Farm in Lexington, South Carolina, hundreds of all ages have gathered to come hear a speech from presidential candidate Donald Trump. Friday at the Faith and Family Forum event at Bob Jones, the crowd was very calm. You can see here downtown at the GOP debate, crowds have already gathered to support their candidates, and they are very rowdy. At Food Truck Rodeo at the market, you have all different kinds of food trucks here today with a wide variety of things to eat. But the one thing they all have in common is using local grown products right here from South Carolina. Rebecca Fight is a single mom with two sons. Her oldest son, Christopher, is 13 and has been diagnosed with ADHD broad spectrum, dysgraphia, and processing sensory disorder. This creates a situation that public schools cannot address. So, Christopher attends school at Einstein Academy, and in the fall, he will begin high school at Next. Both Einstein and Next High School are for children with special needs. Fight hopes the special diploma can give kids with special needs more options after high school.
A special needs diploma would carry enough weight to allow these kids the opportunity to go to trade schools or maybe junior college and figure out their best method on which to continue their education or to get into the job market, then I think it's a good thing, because I think a certificate of attendance doesn't say anything. It just says you showed up every day.
The South Carolina Senate is aiming to fix this problem by offering students with special needs their own special diploma rather than an attendance certificate. Senator John Scott is ready to see change and says this bill could be a step in the right direction.
We mentally have separated that group from the population. That's unfair. And so what we want to do is give them every opportunity to live a healthy and productive life.
Karen Pettis, director of the University of South Carolina's Disability Services, says this is exactly what the bill is aiming for.
And we felt like there needed to be something for those students that recognized their accomplishments and showed what skills they had developed.
Fight hopes this new diploma will help kids like Christopher get a sense of accomplishment against something they face every day.
It may allow them to progress into something where they feel like they're completing part of their lives. Who wants to grow up and feel like that you never finished anything?
Senator Scott's bill has a long way to go, but hopes it will be a law soon enough to help students like Christopher feel a sense of accomplishment. Emily Huff, Carolina News. It was not your typical ribbon-cutting ceremony. Deputy dogs Kai and Arco played tug-of-war to officially open their new home off Two Notch Road.
Our canines are a very important part of what we do at the Sheriff's Department. We consider all of them deputy sheriffs. They're equal with the deputies, the human deputies. They go out here, they work, sometimes they give their life.
The last dog to die in the line of duty was Fargo back in 2011. Richland County has 16 dogs in the K-9 unit. Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott says the new facility was much needed, and after a long search, they found their doghouse literally right next door. Here at the Richland County K-9 unit opening, Arco is the star of the show. Lieutenant Kevin Hoover is Arco's partner, and he says Arco is a part of his family and his best friend.
It's kind of a passion, because if you love dogs, like most of the canine handlers here do, it's almost not like having a job.
Hoover also says the canine facility is more than a roof over their heads.
It's a great place to house our dogs that's safe from the elements, from when it's really cold, from when it's really hot. It's a comfortable place for us to leave our dogs, because these dogs are our families, and we want to make sure they're safe when we're not there to protect them.
And the icing on the cake, today the lobby was named after Special Deputy Lewis Marshall. He played a key role in developing the canine facility. Lott calls him the dog whisperer.
Hey, Lewis, this special plaque's going to go inside when you walk in this office. We're going to name the front lobby for the Lewis Marshall Canine Building.
The first decoration on the wall for the new home of Columbia's four-legged Crime Stoppers. Emily Huff, Carolina News. Lexington's Old Mill Brew Pub was closed for 3 weeks after the historic flood. but it is back in the swing of things. The Old Mill Dam was built in the 1920s and not up to current codes. Because of the lack of maintenance on the Old Mill Dam, it broke, flooding many businesses in the Old Mill Mall. Owner John Klinger says their biggest setback is people not knowing they are up and running.
We've done everything from using local news outlets, newspapers, advertising. That's been the biggest threshold that we had to get over. Probably the second thing was, of course, that we lost a beautiful body of water for outside dining.
You can see behind me where this view used to be of this gorgeous pond set up by the Old Mill Dam, and now it is just more construction that they have to deal with. Klinger says his landlord, High Seas in Charleston, is working with the city of Lexington to get funding from FEMA, but they are not having much luck. High Seas told me today the town of Lexington has submitted the reconstruction to the dam in their recovery package with FEMA. Our initial loss in the building is just south of $1 million, and we have flood insurance for roughly half of that. The only estimates I have heard of to replace the dam run from $3 million to $5 million, which is well out of our ability to fund. Other than losing half of their outdoor seating, the pub lost their major moneymaker, their beer.
We also had a cooler with 21 kegs that went downstream, smoker, assorted equipment.
But Klinger never lost his hope.
Tragedy strikes everybody's life, one time or another, and it's going to happen, and it's unfortunate, but you can get through it.
Emily Huff, Carolina News.
They said, we had both your doors have got.
It is safe to say that Donald Trump is not your standard politician, and it seems that is why people like him so much.
I just like he's funny, and I mean, yeah, I like him.
Some Trump supporters have followed him across the country in support of his campaign.
Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, a lot of Iowa.
Just to name a few. The unique candidate had an uncommon location for his rally. Here at Harmon's Tree Farm in Lexington, South Carolina, hundreds of all ages have gathered to come hear a speech from presidential candidate Donald Trump.
He said to me, wear a hat tonight because we're in a barn. But this is a pretty nice barn. It's a friendly barn, that's for sure, right?
It was reported that 6,000 RSVP for the rally.
I guess there are 4,000 people outside that are not coming in. We could have maybe gotten a bigger barn.
Trump made sure to mention his love for South Carolina.
When I thought maybe some of the polls weren't looking so good, we come over here. South Carolina was always like a big, big margin. We're just killing everybody. It's like...
As well as his competition.
Once we get there, we're going to beat Hillary. Hillary's not going to be hard to beat. She's not going to be hard to beat.
And even his plans for office.
The farmers in this place and the farmers all over the country are being treated almost as bad as our vets, which are being treated like the worst.
It is safe to say this crowd is ready for this eccentric politician to make America great again. Emily Huff, Carolina News.
You got to be very quick to do that show. When you have Omarosa.
Hello, and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Courtney Thornley.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Emily Huff. Hundreds have been injured and dozens killed in an attack in Brussels, Belgium this morning. It has left the world in a state of shock. Nikki Leak has been following the story all morning and is in the newsroom with the latest. Thank you, Nikki. President Obama's historic trip to Cuba ends today. The President's Day included a Cuban civil society event at the U.S. Embassy with Cuban President Raul Castro. In the morning, he delivered a speech at a historic theater in Havana addressing relations between the two countries.
Creo en el pueblo cubano. I believe in the Cuban people.
The President will end his trip to Cuba on a less contentious note, taking in a baseball game between the Cuban national team and the Tampa Bay Rays. The South Carolina Department of Transportation Director is urging legislators to spend money on South Carolina's roads, rather than send money to the counties. The budget being debated in the House this week is expected to include about $400 million for roads, but the proposal sends $185 million to counties to fix less traveled roads that do not qualify for federal matches. The total also includes $49 million for work already done after last October's floods. Services for Officer Alan Jacobs, who was shot and killed in the line of duty, will be held Thursday at Furman University in Greenville. Jacobs was fatally shot last Friday while chasing a confirmed gang member. The suspect then turned the gun on himself as police closed in. The funeral is scheduled for 11 a.m. at Timmons Arena. A visitation will be held from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Charles E. Daniel Memorial Chapel, also at Furman. A dog in New York is getting a bit of a reputation as an artist. Meet Dagger, who's also known as Dog Vinci. Originally planned to be a helper dog for those with disabilities, Dagger was disqualified due to his fear of stairs. Then his human discovered he had a love of painting. Dagger paints by following his human's commands and uses a brush made out of duct tape and a paper towel tube that he holds in his mouth. How popular are his paintings, one might ask? They generally sell for between $50 and $100 per canvas, with all proceeds going to animal-related charities.
We really understand the flooding situation
Definitely.
here in Columbia.
It's sad to see that there's another
It
situation
is.
happening this year.
Luckily for us, it's warm out today.
Yes,
The sun
it
is
is.
shining.
Yes,
85,
spring is
right?
finally arrived, and we'll take a closer look at that. So currently in Columbia right now, our temperature is 81 degrees with humidity at 36%, and that is caused by over here where this disturbance from last night has now moved off South Carolina and into the coast, and that brought us that fog that we had this morning following these beautiful skies. And what to pay attention to right now is this disturbance over the Panhandle in Texas, and what that is going to do, if we take a closer look at that, what that is going to do is it is creating its own front, which will make its way towards South Carolina and bring us some rain this weekend. And as you can see, where this high over here in the west coast is circulating with some cooler air. So that, accompanied along with this front, will be bringing us some possible rain and cooler temperatures this weekend. Currently in Columbia right now, it is 82 degrees, 85 degrees on campus. We're hanging out in the mid to low 70s on the coast, and in the upstate, we're also in the 70s. And then for tonight's lows, we have 58 degrees in Columbia, 51 and 54 in the upstate with Greenville and Rock Hill. Down on the coast, we're still in the low 60s, which is a very nice place to be right now, would be the coast for this evening. And then tomorrow it's going to be 84 degrees in Columbia, so it'll be about the same weather as today, really warm, wear your shorts and a comfortable t-shirt. And then moving on to our 5-day, you can see we're Tuesday, tomorrow it'll be 83 degrees. It'll be beautiful on Wednesday, and we'll start to see our chances of rain coming up on Thursday. And on Friday and Saturday, there is a decent chance of rain, so that is kind of a bummer, and we probably won't have that beautiful of a weekend, but it's better than the cold weather we've been having, so I'm really looking forward to that.